Smart people don't ask, will this work? They think through the probability of the outcomes and the impact of the outcomes. And let me put you onto this thinking. So I like to use a framework that uses utils, expected utility theory. And it's this idea of essentially allowing you to create points for any particular outcome. So it can be money related, happiness related, what you like to eat is, it doesn't really matter. You get to decide the points. But you try to figure out what's the probability of this event happening. And then when that event happens, what's the impact on my life, right? So if it's a really bad thing, it might be worth negative 1,000 utils, a million if it's maybe life and death. You pick the number. If it's something maybe positive, but maybe medium, maybe you give it 10 points, 20 points, 50, it doesn't really matter as long as you are the one making the decision and you're consistent with it. And the math on it is relatively simple, but let me explain each chunk. So you take the actual, let's say outcome A, and you say that has a 30% chance of happening. And we look at outcome B has a 70% chance of happening. You take the utils of option A and outcome B, and we say, and you multiply those together. And so you, let's say in this example, and so this is where a situation of taking a bet, let's just say in that 70% outcome, it's a 70% outcome of a negative 10 util. So it kind of sucks, but you'll be okay. And that's going to happen 70% of the time, right? But in 30% of the time, let's say it's 1,000 positive utils, you would be irrational not to take the shot on the outcome A because despite it only being a 30% probability, the outcome is so high in the utils that when you multiply zero point 0.3, which is your 30% times your 1,000 utils, that number is going to be much larger than the negative 10 times zero point 0.7, right? And that's how you basically try to do the math. You merge those two together and you try to figure out what's the most optimal decision for me. And in that case, despite 30% being the lower probability, but that has the higher payoff, it's more rational to choose outcome A. And so there's a ton of different varieties of this framework that you can apply in your life. But I just find it so helpful for me when I have a series of maybe 5 choices. Just sitting down, you can even talk to ChatGPT and say, hey, help me think through the expected utility value of each of these decisions and help me assign the probability of each of these decisions so that I can work through and make a statistically strong choice for my life. Happy to go through examples or specifics in your life in the comments if you want to comment. I love nerding out on that.